I chose clocks because they're a machine that has many qualities that I think are very good, and one of them is historical, technical, intellectual, aesthetic, and amusing. To me now, for the modern clockmaker, the most challenging thing is to make it amusing and to make it interesting, because the quartz watch industry has taken over in the accuracy department. It's kind of let the clockmaker now go away from being accurate enough, and make something that's interesting to own. This clock I've called a Contrivance, and it was an idea that I had in my head for probably 2 years before I finally put a pen to paper. The most difficult thing about clockmaking is to come up with something new, because there's over 300 years of development in this machine, and it's a single-purpose machine. And as a result, you're not going to come up with something new. But what you can do is combine interesting features from the past. In fact, the escapement here was designed in 1730 by John Harrison. This endless loop winding was Christian Huygens. The compound pendulum, of course, has always been around, but it's never used because it's very finicky and very tough to keep good time to. But I just think it's so amazing to look at that I had to make it work. A couple of years ago, I had tested the theory and made this little model of this escapement right here. And this was just made with shop scraps, and I think it took me about 2 or 3 days to do this. And as you can see, it works rather well. So that was an impetus for me to go ahead and make one out of the real materials and not scraps. But it certainly proves the principle. Getting rid of the sliding friction was the main thing that I had to work on to get the clock reliable. I think it was in '95 that the lab had issued a challenge for their time capsule to come up with a mechanical clock, I believe, that would run for 50 years without maintenance. And it got me thinking, just how good could you do with today's technology and some good ideas. And that was basically the whole impetus for this particular project, to tell you the truth. There's an old saying, if you want something around with your name on it other than your headstone after you're gone, build a clock.